Have you ever asked yourself, how can I achieve more in business and in life? Now, if you've ever asked yourself those questions, today I want to encourage you to join me on this journey of really exploring how best to leverage your time, your talent, and your resources to optimize your level of success in your personal life and in your corporate life. And of course, the topic is smart investment decisions. And I want to welcome each and every one of you to the first broadcast of Smart Investment Decisions. Today, we will be looking at why is it important to invest or to have your emergency savings account, and why is it necessary to invest in this. We'll also be looking at home ownership and investment. We're looking at real estate investment. And last but not least, we'll be looking at your early retirement investment. I do believe that these are all important investment portfolios that you need to start thinking about right now. Now, this program comes to you, Smart Investment Decision comes to you with the kind compliments of 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York, Pitch Deck 101, and Global Capital Inc. So I want to encourage you to visit these websites. This is our website, the 10xbmllc.com, to learn more of what we are doing here. Also, take the time to visit pitchdeck101.org to also get an insight in terms of some of the work that we are doing at Pitch Deck. Now, you can reach out to us by calling these numbers on your screen, and we'll be so happy to engage with you. These company combined, we have put a team of persons who are committed to that process to transform the world one business at a time. All right. So welcome to today's broadcast. Today we are talking about smart investment decisions. I want to begin by examining some of the importance of savings. In my life, I've interfaced with persons that have the belief that you can become wealthy by saving. Is that true or is that false? And I want you to ask your family and friends who might have had the experience in terms of saving if they were ever able to attain wealth from that. And I want to show you the answer will be a resounding no. Now, having said that, I want us to examine some of the important reasons why you should have a savings account. And I'm going to name three of them, and then we're going to go into today's exercise of really looking at what is smart investments decision. Again, this is not investment advice. I'm sharing with you my experience and my knowledge. We have a team of persons at 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York, Global Capital Inc., and Pitch Deck 101 that would interface with you on a one-on-one basis, diagnose where you are, and then prescribe in ways to get you to where you want to go. I want to assure you that our systems are working tremendously in New York, in America, in the UK. It's working tremendously. And we are here to share with you, ways, things that you should start thinking about as you about to get into the new year. Now, let's talk about three important reasons why you should be saving. One, you save for emergency. Emergency are things that happens and you, in most cases, ill prepare to deal with the emergency. It can be an accident, a family emergency, the need to do something. And because of the fact that you do not have any emergency savings, when that experience arises, you feel compromised, you feel uncomfortable, you feel unworthy. So it is absolutely necessary to start thinking about your emergency savings account. So you save for emergency. The second reason why it is necessary for you to save is that you're saving for, let us take, for example, there's not an emergency, but you're saving for safekeeping. If you keep your money any old place, you might be at risk. There might be a fire and the fire destroy your money. There might be theft, and because of theft, you lost your entire life savings. And you don't want to open yourself to that type of risk. So you save for safekeeping. The last reason why you save is the reason that I really want you to focus on. It's absolutely necessary. And here is where we see the majority of the people in the world, you do not save with this in mind. You save because your intention is to build an investment portfolio. All right. I repeat that. The last reason why I'm going to give that you should have your savings account is because you're now trying to accumulate monies to put into smart investment decisions. And I'm going to spend some time talking about smart investment decisions because I do believe that it is a subject matter that has to be amplified based on the fact that we're seeing millions of people across the world are still struggling to understand how to mitigate this entire process of wealth accumulation, wealth building, wealth leverage. We have done the research on the number of persons that need debt relief. In the United States of America alone, we need in excess of 90 million persons that need support in debt mitigation. And that's largely because they have not yet understand how to play the wealth game. On this platform, we give you a lot of information that will enable you to make better investment decisions, better life choices. All right, so you have the three reasons why it is necessary for you to have your savings account: safekeepings, emergency, smart investment. Now that we're talking about smart investment, do you really understand the concept of smart investment? Let's examine this. On the screen, you can see the second investment portfolio that I have pointed out: invest in home ownership. One of the things that we have seen from research, many persons going to buy their first home, they're making an emotional decision. An emotional decision. What does that mean? It means that you just see the house, you look at the exterior, perhaps you look at the interior, and you get all emotionally engulfed in that decision without taking into consideration whether you're about to invest into an asset or whether you're about to invest into a liability. If you're honest with yourself, I want you to stop right now. If you have purchased your first home, and I want you to ask yourself, is it an asset or is it a liability? And if you cannot answer this question, it means that you need to know more about that decision that you might have made a day ago, a week ago, a year ago, or 5, 10 years ago. You need to ask yourself. Now, things that we look at Global Capital Inc., 10X Branded and Marketing LLC, and Pitch Deck 101. We looked at these issues to help you to make better decisions. So let's look at what is an asset and what is a liability in terms of home ownership. Now, there are smart investors out there. There are smart home buyers out there. And one of the things that we see that they're doing, you need to ask yourself if you're doing this, it's not that they're not going to buy their first home, all right, to live in the first home, but they're buying their first home and they're figuring out how to make their home an income producing asset. So instead of buying one unit, you probably buy a duplex. And because you have a duplex, you're able to utilize one area of that duplex and leverage the other area, the second area, as a positive cash flowing machine. And that positive cash flowing machine, that income producing asset, is now serving in more ways than one. One, it has helped It is helping you to address what we call the PITI. When you take a debt to purchase the home, that that debt is subject to principal and interest, tax, and insurance. And these are things that you cannot run away from. But in most cases, the average person buying their home who is subject to principal and interest, tax, and insurance, it is coming from their primary source of income. It is coming from their primary source of income. The smart buyers, because of the fact that they have a secondary source of income, the PITI is coming from the secondary source of income. So it is able to offset the entire cost of acquiring that piece of asset. And along with offsetting the entire cost, it is also leaving residual income, surplus income for you to either deposit into the bank, have some in your pocket, but you're smiling because your primary source of income has not been touched. So this creates another opportunity for you to accumulate wealth faster. So it's not that I'm saying that you don't need your first home, but the big question that you need to ask yourself, when you purchase your home, is your home a cash flowing asset or is it a liability? Now, I mention all of this because many of us, millions of people across the world, you've come through, a global pandemic for the last 2 years plus. And there were many persons that went into pre-foreclosure. They're still in pre-foreclosure, and there are many persons that were foreclosed on. The buyers that understand income producing assets and how to create and leverage capital, they're smiling because they have a cushion that is protecting them, a cushion that is disaster proof. All right. So when you start to think like how investors think, you are now able to build disaster proof systems that are protecting your cash flow. All right. So these are important concepts that you need to think about. So if you have purchased your home and it is not an income producing asset, you are dependent solely on your primary source of income, perhaps you need to start talking to a PFA, a professional financial advisor, get a personal financial advisor that can help you navigate this process and make better investment decisions. Absolutely necessary. All right. Again, this is not investment advice. I'm not telling you to go and buy a house. I'm not telling you to go rent a house and cash flow the house, because there's a lot of things that you need to consider before you actually do that. My next topic is I'm going to walk you through this. All right. When we're going to give consultancy and advice is when we have, one-on-one, when we're able to diagnose where you are. And based on that diagnostic, we will then prescribe where you need to go to move the process and forward. Okay. So I trust that you took away some value from the first concept that we talk about there, the second concept that we talk about there. And now I want us to talk a little bit about investing in real estate. Now, today we're just talking about real estate investment and home ownership, but when we talk about smart investment, it doesn't limit the scope of discussion to real estate. It also represents even investing in business as a private equity investor, invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, invest in hedge funds, invest in ETF. As time progresses, we will dive into all of these things as to ensure that we are sharing experiences, sharing knowledge, that perhaps can tweak your thought processes and drive you in the right direction, push you in the right direction, where you can now better position yourself for smart investment decisions. All right. So real estate investment, it is something that I love talking about because I do believe that this is one of the smartest, safest portfolios for you to invest in. And there are a number of reasons why I'm saying this. But real estate is not the only investment portfolio that gives high yield. But let me just explain a couple of things about real estate. Real estate gives asset appreciation like no other asset that I know of. It's one of the safest portfolio. Because you get asset appreciation, you're able to take out that asset in either a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, or in a BLOC, a business equity line of credit. And you're able to leverage that, the HELOC or the BLOC, into additional investment portfolio. Let us trust that this is going to be smart investment portfolios. Now, other form of investment does not give you this kind of leverage. Real estate also can give you daily, weekly, monthly, and cash flow, annual cash flow, and that's some of the beauty that I like about it. You while they may have other smart investment portfolio, to me, real estate trumps. But getting into real estate investment, while it is a big step, a significant step in most people's life, it is not something for you to simply jump into. And I'm going to give you reasons why. And that's why I'm saying I'm not saying to go to do this. I'm saying get the right information. Get the PFA, the professional financial advisors, the personal financial advisor. Reach out to us at 10x Branding and Marketing LLC. Go to our website, learn a little bit about what we're doing. Also, go to our second website, pitchdeck101.org, see what we are doing. Because when we talk, we mean business. We are able to put you in contact with the people that's going to help you to access the capital to move your vision forward. So whether you want to buy your single family unit or your duplex, or you want to have a multi-family unit, we are able to put you in contact with the people to source the capital, because this is what we do. We are helping a whole lot of people across America to make the right connection. If you're into business and you need capital to move your operation forward, we're going to work with you. We're going to work with you to get your brand traits right. And we always talk about this. Starting a business, you need to get the brand traits right. But I'm not going to get carried away and get into the branding today. But I want to encourage you to reach out to us and talk to one of our professional advisors that can point you in the right direction. So investing in real estate is not something you wake up and you just, emotionally makes that decision to make an investment. All right. There's closing fee that you need to think about. And there's a whole range of other things that you need to think about. Now, let's talk about real estate investment. Some people say buy when it's cheap. Buy when it's cheap, it's nice. But there are a number of things to be considered when you're buying when it is cheap, because there's something that we call economic obsolescence. Now, what is economic obsolescence? Economic obsolescence means that you buy a property where it is cheap. But in that economy, in that community, there may be a high level of crime. There might be toxic exposure. There might be a range of different things that is working against human coexistence in the community. So it becomes economically obsolete. So guess what? Because the economic obsolescence is going to be high, there's no motivation for anybody to want to go and rent a piece of, property there. So because you buy cheap, you are left with this liability in your hand that you cannot even resell, depending on how worse that economic obsolescence is. So do you have the right advisors on your side that is helping you to make smart investment decisions? So buying cheap is nice, but you need to consider all of the factors that needs to be considered when you're going to invest into real estate. All right. There's other things that you need to think about. There are many persons, and I have to interface with this so often. You're going to buy your first property, you make an emotional decision, and you didn't think through the closing fee. You didn't think about, the appraisal cost. There's a cost to do the appraisal. You don't buy a property and you're not doing the appraisal. There are multiple types of appraisal, but you need to ensure that you get an advice to do it, because nobody's not going to put investment dollars in your hand and the appraisal is not done. And if you're taking your own money to buy a piece of property without doing the appraisal, you can face with what we call physical obsolescence. And physical obsolescence can cost you thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of US dollars to correct the process. It might even be irreversible physical obsolescence, meaning that you cannot reverse the process. You have to destroy the process and build it up back. So while investment in real estate is a super, super important way of building wealth, it's necessary that you take the time to get the right information. Research the information or get your consultants that can help you navigate this entire process. So you know at the end of the day, you're making an informed and educated decision about how you're identifying investment portfolios that will allow you to build wealth in a safe manner. All right, you want to know how to mitigate risk and all of those things that we will talk about as we go deeper into these programs. Now, why am I talking all of this? All right, we talk about the importance of the emergency savings. We talk about smarter ways in investing in your first home. We talk about real estate investment. All right, I now want to talk about investing early retirement. And why am I talking about this? And here is where the humanitarian in me comes out. I believe in work and play, but I believe that if you work hard every day of your life, and some people do, some people work 49 years every day of their life, they reach the point of retirement and still there's no play in their life. No play. You have kids and the kids hardly get to see mommy and daddy because mommy and daddy has been working tremendously hard to put the bread on the table to make things happen. They had no time to play. I believe in hard work, but I also believe in smart work. And one of the things that you want to be doing is to start thinking very, very early about your early retirement plan. You want to start thinking about this. All right. And I'm happy to also say that we have developed a very, very unique program. The collaboration between 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York, collaboration with Pitch Deck 101. We have developed a very, very unique program to really help families to understand things that you best practices in developing your early retirement plan. And I'm going to give you some tips here before I close the program off today, right? I want to talk about some quick concepts that you need to do. We have developed a concept that we call the income audit analytics. And this is something that you need to know about. This is something that you want to hold very close to your chest. What is the income audit analytics? You want to be able to measure your income against your expenditure. And you want to be able to determine your balance sheet after you would have taken away your expenses. But guess what? Most people, they have a negative balance. But you have that negative balance, but guess what? You have dreams and hopes and aspirations. Along that line with your future plans, there's no investment strategy. So there's 5 things to consider here: your income, your expenditure, your balance sheet, your future plans, smart investment strategies. Now, the reason that we're talking about smart investment portfolios is because we believe that if you start thinking about it early enough, and if you have the right mentor, the right coaches that can work with you, whether it's home ownership or invested in real estate, they can point you in the right direction to make things happen. Now, I want to say this too, because, in America, I do believe that America is one of the best countries to be in because America has tremendous opportunity, unlike many other countries in the world. And I'm going to give my reasons why I'm saying this. The average person might want to say, before I invest in a income producing asset, I have to have money. You're correct. While you can save your way to your investment portfolio, and saving doesn't mean you alone is doing it. You might have five family members. So you come together and you put monies together. You identify a smart investment portfolio. But that's not the only option that you have. In America, America runs on credit. No doubts about it. It runs on credit. That's a good thing because you are now able to leverage your SSN and you're able to get access to credit by simply having your SSN. And once you have a FICO score that is perhaps in the 600 and the 700, the 800, better for you, you're going to have multiple financial institutions knocking at your door to give you credit. And guess what? They're going to be willing to give you credit at 0% APR for 12 months or 15 months, which means that for this length of time, for a year and a half, you have absolutely no interest to pay on that debt that you're taking to reinvest into income producing asset. Who can ask for anything more? And this is one of the reasons why I'm saying that America is one of the best countries to be in. Of course, this is not all. There are many other examples that I'm going to be giving you as time progresses. But I trust you have taken away a lot from what I'm saying today. And in conclusion, I want to ask you, how are you investing your time, your talent, and your resources to maximize possibilities for growth and development in your life? And let me tell you something about time as we attempt to pull the curtain down here. You see, time, once you lose it, you don't ever get it back. It's gone with a wind. It's gone, completely gone. You don't ever get it back. So you need to figure out how to take practical steps to leverage time the way smart people do. That's on time. Your talent. There are many talent pools out there, but you want to ask yourself, how relevant is your talent to people's dreams, hopes, and aspirations? Is it possible that your talent can become your value proposition? A value proposition that people needs, a value proposition that people are willing to invest in. And because of their willingness to invest in your value proposition, you're able to earn and increase your possibility of increasing your wealth. So think about this as we close the curtain today. Thirdly, I want you to think about resources. Do you have the right resources around you? And when I talk about resources, I'm talking about human resources. Do you have the right human capital around you? They say if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find another room. Do you have the right resources or human resources around you? Do you have the right technical resources around you? And do you have the right capital resources to your advantage? And I'm happy to say to you, at 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York, and you can give us a call there. Pitch Deck 101. You can visit this website to learn more about what we're doing. We're not only gaffing, we're not only talking the talk, but we're able to put you in contact with the human resources, the technical resources, and the capital resources. And when I say capital resources, we put you in contact with persons that can help you with debt, equity, credit, hard money lending, and creative financing. All right. So you can start to make what we call smart investment decisions. So if you have a business and you need help to grow and scale your business across the world, if you want to invest in your first home or invest in multiple family units and you need capital to make this happen, make contact with me. All right. We have a number of bankers that we are partnering with to ensure that we are able to help you realize your dreams. Stop procrastinating. Take action. My name is Gary Thompson. I am the director for the companies that I've talked about today. I'm partnering with many financial institutions across the world with the aim of providing you the support that you need to make smart investment decisions. It has been a pleasure being with you today, and I look forward to doing this with you again soon. Do have a blessed day, and do remember to manage your time, your talent, and resources in a manner that serves you best. Goodbye.